Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Just Law on IQRA TV. I'm your host Ilyas Bulbulia. This is the second part to the show. Okay, let's take our next call and let's take it from there. Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम जी, मैं अपना नाम नहीं बताना चाहता लेकिन एक दो क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूँ।
कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम जी।
ठीक है, मेरा सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन ये था कि मैं 2011 में इस कंट्री में एज ए स्टूडेंट आया था।
राइट, ओके, यप, ठीक
है, और मेरा वीजा था 2014 तक।
राइट,
लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली मेरा जो कॉलेज था वो बंद हो गया था। और 2013 में मुझे दोबारा वीजा अप्लाई करना पड़ा।
जी, ठीक है,
और मुझे वीजा मिला 2015 तक।
जी जी,
लेकिन मैं उन लोगों में से था कि जब इन्होंने टॉइक का इशू हुआ था तो मेरा वीजा 2014 में
जी
इन्होंने कर्टेल कर दिया।
जी, ऑलराइट, ओके,
ठीक है। तो फिर उसके बाद हमने, मेरा जो सॉलिसिटर था उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि हम होम ऑफिस से राइट ऑफ अपील मांगते हैं।
जी, ठीक है, ओके।
तो इतनी देर में मेरा अक्टूबर 2014 में इन्होंने वीजा कर्टेल किया था, लेकिन फरवरी 2015 तक मेरी अपील का प्रोसेस चलता रहा।
ओके, ऑलराइट, ओके,
ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि इस वक्त मैं अपने रिलेशन में था।
जी,
ठीक है। तो फिर उन्होंने मुझे राइट ऑफ अपील नहीं दिया। फिर हमने उनको दोबारा रिव्यू करने का लेटर लिखा होम ऑफिस को कि केस रिव्यू करो।
ओके, जी, ठीक है,
ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद मैं अपने सॉलिसिटर को मिला और मैंने 2015 मार्च में मेरे सॉलिसिटर ने मेरी FLRO FP डाल दी मेरे स्पाउस के बिहाफ पे।
जी, ठीक है, ओके,
ठीक है। और होम ऑफिस से हमने शादी की परमिशन मांगी।
जी, ठीक है, ओके।
उन्होंने हमें होम ऑफिस वाले हमारे घर आए, उन्होंने सारी हमें परमिशन दे दी और 2015 में हमारी शादी रजिस्टर्ड हो गई।
ओके, जी, ठीक है।
लेकिन जो हमने एप्लीकेशन की थी 2015 में वो 2016 में उन्होंने रिफ्यूज कर दी।
ओके, ओके,
ठीक है। और 2016 को वही एप्लीकेशन हमने दोबारा एक दफा न्यू सर्कमस्टांसेस थोड़े से चेंज करके हमने दोबारा एप्लीकेशन की, लेकिन अभी 2017 में उन्होंने वो एप्लीकेशन रिफ्यूज की हमारी और मुझे डिटेन कर लिया था।
जी, ठीक है, ओके, ओके।
तो और फिर डिटेन करने के बाद 1.5 मंथ उन्होंने डिटेंशन सेंटर में रखा, लेकिन फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने मुझे रिलीज कर दिया। तो अभी जो मेरे सर्कमस्टांसेस हैं वो टोटली चेंज हुए हैं और मेरी जुडिशनल रिव्यू चल रहा है, हमने अप्लाई किया हुआ है।
जी।
तो अभी जो मेरा बेबी बोर्न होने वाला है नेक्स्ट मंथ में।
जी जी,
ठीक है। तो अभी मैं सिर्फ ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि मैं अगर नई एप्लीकेशन करूँ तो उसमें चांसेस ज्यादा हैं या अगर मैं पाकिस्तान जाऊँ तो वहाँ से चांसेस ज्यादा हैं?
ओके, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपकी जो वाइफ है वो ब्रिटिश है?
जी, ब्रिटिश है।
ओके, ऑलराइट, राइट, ओके। बेस्ट ऑप्शन आई थिंक आपके लिए ये है, बेस्ट ऑप्शन कि अभी आपने ये बताया ना कि बेबी बोर्न होने वाली है ना नेक्स्ट मंथ?
जी, नेक्स्ट मंथ जी, ये मई में बोर्न होने वाला है।
मई, माशाल्लाह। तो आप ये करो, उसके बेसिस पे आप एप्लीकेशन डाल दो यूके में।
ठीक है।
वो एप्लीकेशन है FLRFP पे, 10 ईयर पार्टनर रूट का एप्लीकेशन है, वो डेफिनेटली आप यहाँ से डाल दो। द रीज़न फॉर दैट इज़ दिस कि अगर आप पाकिस्तान जाएंगे और वहाँ से अप्लाई करेंगे तो तभी वीज़ा मिलनी चाहिए, बट देर आर सम एडिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स दैट यू नीड टू फुलफिल। वन इज़ के आपकी वाइफ की जो इनकम है वो 18,600 होना चाहिए, विच चलो लेट्स से यू कैन मैनेज दैट। द सेकंड प्रॉब्लम इज़ दिस कि वहाँ से वो अप्लाई करेंगे सूटेबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया कि आपका कॉन्डक्ट ऐसा है कि वीज़ा मिलनी चाहिए या नहीं मिलनी चाहिए। और जो टॉइक का मसला है ना, they will raise that again from Pakistan. So what will happen is कि they will, in my experience, refuse आपका जो application होगा from Pakistan as a spouse basis, वो refuse कर देंगे और अपील में डाल लेंगे। So अपील में it will take 1 year to 1.5 years to sort out.
ठीक है।
So my personal view is that because of your circumstances, थोड़ा सा overstaying here, there's an issue about TOEIC. I think if you make an application from Pakistan, you're going to get stuck in Pakistan. Personally, that's what I think. And agar aapka baby ho jaye, to there's an immigration rule there where you can apply on the basis of your relationship and the child. Aap kar sakte hai 10-year partner route ka jo route hai, you can apply under that. So personally, I think आपका जो judicial review है at the moment, there's probably no merit in that judicial review. इसमें pursue करने में कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. I wouldn't spend more money on that. But I would submit an application जो आपने कहा ना, on the basis of the child. That's what I would do. I think because the baby is about to be born, let's just wait for the baby to be born and then submit the application. That's what I would do. So May आपको, as soon as the baby is born, get everything ready. At the beginning of May, get everything ready, all your paperwork, everything with your lawyer. As soon as the baby is born, you've got the birth certificate, submit the application straight away after that.
तो उसमें चांसेस हैं कि चांसेस ज़्यादा हैं कि बेबी के बोर्न होने के बाद वीज़ा मेरा लग जाएगा और
इसमें
कोई ये पता है कि कितना टाइम लग जाएगा?
Yeah, right. One is chances. In a normal case, I would say 99% chance कि वीज़ा लग जाएगा in a normal case. आपका प्रॉब्लम क्या है? There's an issue about TOEIC. तो TOEIC का इश्यू दोबारा रेज होगा.
ठीक है.
ओके, जब TOEIC का इश्यू वो रेज करेंगे तो at that stage it may well be कि they may refuse the application and give you a right of appeal at that stage.
Okay.
जब right of appeal देंगे, if they raise it, तो right of appeal देंगे, फिर ट्राइब्यूनल में जाना पड़ेगा, फिर वहाँ से sort out करना पड़ेगा आपको. If the judge is satisfied that you've not done anything wrong, or even if he thinks you've done something wrong because of the relationship and the child, you know, it's not that serious, the judge could give you a visa. So this is realistically, मुझको ये लगता है कि based on the other similar cases, के they will possibly refuse it even with the child because of the TOEIC allegation. Now, ultimately, this has to be sorted out at the tribunal. मगर problem ये है ना कि what's the alternative? अगर आप पाकिस्तान जाएंगे तो वहाँ से भी same ही problem है ना?
ठीक है.
So there's no advantage as I see it in going to Pakistan.
ठीक है.
So यहाँ से ही डालना चाहिए. Now, time-wise, roughly decision from the Home Office, I'd say about at the moment they're a bit quicker. So decision from the Home Office in about 7 to 8 months, and an appeal. It's quicker, in-country appeals are quicker, roughly about 6-7 months again for the appeal process to be finalized. So everything could be sorted out between roughly say about year to year and a half's time. Things could be sorted out in the United Kingdom. So it's still I think in your situation the best route to take, because the alternative isn't very attractive either, leaving the country and applying from there. In your situation isn't attractive. Yeah. Take it up. Okay. Thank you very much for your call. Thank you. No problem at all. All right. Thank you. We'll take our next call. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, the call's been dropped. I do apologize. Okay. So let's just go back to what we were discussing before, which is the classic situation where somebody's overstayed in the United Kingdom, marrying a European national, want to apply from here. So as I said at the outset, if it's based on marriage, it's easier. If it's based on a relationship where the parties haven't married, it is slightly more difficult because you need to show normally that you've been together for 2 years. And then you're able to apply. Now, the other difficulty is that if the case is refused for whatever reason, you won't qualify for a right of appeal at the moment. So therefore, what I normally advise people in this situation where they are in a relationship, a proper relationship with a European national, Islamically married, etc. in most cases, what I would advise is that they register their marriage in the United Kingdom. Now, the difficulty that they normally come across is that in order to register your marriage in the United Kingdom, you need a passport in order to do that. If you don't have a passport, the registrar may say to you that we're not prepared to register your marriage. So if that's the case, then what I would normally advise is that the person makes a due passport at the embassy and then use that to apply for a passport. Once they've got the passport, they can register the marriage. Once they've registered the marriage, they can make an application as a family member of a European national and make an application in the United Kingdom. That's the much easier way to deal with this. So if you go down that route of making an application based on marriage, what are the requirements that then need to be fulfilled? Well, the first requirement is that it's not enough that you have married a European national. The European national needs to be exercising treaty rights in the United Kingdom. Now, what does that mean? That basically means that the European national partner needs to be working, or needs to be a student, or needs to be self-employed or self-sufficient. So basically, in most cases, they need to be economically active, or they need to be a student in the United Kingdom. It's not sufficient to say that, look, you know, the overstay is saying that we are simply in a relationship, we have a child, etc., and give me permission to stay here. Under European law, that's different. Under normal immigration rules, based on a child who has a British passport, it may well be possible to apply to stay here based on the relationship, based on the child being born in the United Kingdom who's British. But in a situation where the sponsor, the relationship is with somebody who is a European national, the law is different. It's not sufficient to be married. It's not sufficient to be in a committed relationship or to have a child. It's important. The important thing is that the European national partner, husband or wife, needs to be working, needs to be self-employed or a student or self-sufficient in the United Kingdom. In most cases, what you need to show is that the person is working in the United Kingdom. So typically, you will be submitting 3 months of wage slips, 3 months of bank statements, and an employment letter. And the application will be based on the relationship and the fact that the European national partner is working in the United Kingdom. Okay, let's take our next call before we return to this. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Hello.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Ji, walaikum salam. Ji, thank you for calling. Ji, what's your question?
Hello, hi, sir. I just have one question.
Okay.
I'm watching you on TV right now. It's quite nice to hear.
Okay, thank you.
I have a 5 years visa from Italy.
Okay.
Right now, and I came to London now.
All right.
Now.
Okay.
And I'm engaged now here.
Okay.
So I'm just about to get married soon.
Okay.
So I just want to see that what's going to be the process, and how should I get here, and then do you have to live like I don't know what to do, to be honest.
No, I understand. Now, I take it you're a European national. You've got an Italian passport. Is that right?
No, I've got Italian visa, 5 years.
Oh, you've got an Italian visa for 5 years. All right, okay.
Residence permit.
I understand. So are you here at the moment as a visitor in the United Kingdom?
Yes, sir.
I understand. Okay. And at the moment, are you still within the 6-month visa period?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. And the person that you want to get married to, is that person a British citizen?
Yeah, it's British citizen.
All right, okay. Now, there is a slight difficulty here in that because you're on a visitor visa in the United Kingdom, they won't let you get married in the United Kingdom on a visitor visa. Previously you could, but they've made things more difficult. They won't let you get married. So I wouldn't, in my view, don't apply to get married on a visitor visa, because any application that you submit to the registrar, marriage registrar, will be referred to the Home Office. The Home Office will realise you're here as a visitor, and they may then revoke your visitor visa. You need to be a bit careful. Now, one way of dealing with this is that your wife to be, maybe she could come to travel to Italy or another European country, and you get married there. So that's one option. So you get married there. So that sorts out the issue about the marriage. Now, the second issue is this: that what about your visa status? Now, if you apply from outside the country, let's say you apply from Italy, the problem is the Italian residency doesn't give you any advantages. It has to be a European passport, whether it's an Italian passport or any other passport, which gives you the advantage in terms of applying. So at the moment, because all you have is a residence permit, the laws will be the same as if you were coming from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. Now, so let's say you get married in Italy somewhere, and your wife is here, your wife would then need to sponsor you to come into the UK as normal, as in she would need to be earning 18,600, etc. You would need to pass an English test, which obviously is not a problem, but the normal rules would apply in this situation. That's the sort of difficulty here. Because it's not a European passport, it's just a residence permit for Italy. There's no real advantage at the moment. I mean, the advantage was you were able to get a visit visa, you've come to the UK, fantastic. I mean, what you could do is, Islamically, you could get you could get married here for religious purposes if you want. Then what you would have to do is register your marriage somewhere, which would mean again that you would be leaving the country, getting married abroad somewhere, you staying there, and then making a proper application to come here as a spouse, which then includes all the other requirements, 18,600, English, accommodation, all the normal requirements that need to be fulfilled would need to be fulfilled at that stage. There is a
same as like you applying from Pakistan.
Yeah, it's the same, I'm afraid, exactly the same.
But one more thing I forgot is I was here before when I applied asylum seeker here. And then they refused me here. They refused my asylum. And then we've been to court, the first court, and they also refused me there as well.
I understand.
So then I left the country and I went to Italy.
I understand.
I got the visa there.
I understand. But unfortunately, that doesn't change anything at the moment, unfortunately.
It's still the same thing.
Yeah, it is the same, I'm afraid. Okay. But thank you very much for your call. I'll take our next call. Hello, assalamu alaikum. I think that call might have been... Okay, no problem. Sorry, I know you're having to hold on for a long time. So just going back to the topic, and it happens to be on European applications as well. I mean, what I should have made clear at the outset is the real sort of advantage where somebody gets married to somebody from Europe, it only really applies where the person has a European passport. Unfortunately, where you have a residence permit for a European country, Italy, Spain, France, whatever it is, unfortunately in that situation there's no real advantage using European laws. So that, I should have made that clear. But let's move on to where we were, as in somebody gets married here to a European partner. And the point I was making is that unlike normal immigration rules, where applications can be made really on the relationship, on the child, etc., here not only does there need to be the marriage and a genuine relationship, here a lot of importance is then placed on what the European partner does. Now, in most cases are then based on the European partner working or being self-employed or a student here in the United Kingdom. So it's imperative that you're able to demonstrate what your European partner is doing. Now, a lot of cases you find where people have got married, the European partner isn't working because the wife is pregnant and on maternity leave. And that is, again, fine. What you then have to demonstrate is what they were doing prior to them going on maternity leave. As long as they were working prior to going on maternity leave, for European law purposes, they are treated as actually being a worker. And then that condition which I'm talking about not only there being a marriage, but the partner working or in self-employment, that condition is satisfied as well. And that means it's much more likely that the application will succeed. Now, the other advantage where the applications are European law applications is that the fee that has to be paid is significantly less than a normal immigration application fee. At the moment, normal application under the immigration rules attracts a fee of over £1,000. In addition to that, there is the IHS fee, the NHS fee that has to be paid, which at the moment is 500, may go up to 1,000 later on in the year. So there's a substantial outlay in terms of fees for a normal application. However, for a European application, even though you might have overstayed, the application fee is only £65. So it is significantly less than what you would normally pay. And there is an option to make an online application which quickens the process, or alternatively you can submit an application by post as well. Now, in terms of processing, obviously the application is processed here, and there is no real premium service as such which can be used to try and get an immediate decision. An application, whether it is made by post or whether it's made online, could typically take about 6 months, maybe 7 months to process. So typically you're looking at that kind of processing time. To be quite honest, that's no different from a normal immigration application where someone has overstayed and is making a human rights application. That typically takes that long, if not longer anyway. So this particular application, based on European rules, takes 6 to 7 months. And in my experience, there is normally a decision made within that time frame of 6 to 7 months. Now, hopefully, if the application has been done properly, in the sense that the marriage has been registered properly, there is evidence of the relationship, and the husband or wife, the European partner, is working properly, then hopefully that application should succeed. If, however, for any reason the application is refused, in this situation where you are married to a European partner, that will attract a right of appeal. So, which is really what you need where an application is refused. You need to get before a judge and explain to the judge that this is genuine, legally married, and your partner is working. It doesn't matter that you've overstayed. That should be sufficient for you to be granted a visa. And the big advantage with somebody who is legally married is that you have that right of appeal. Just on that point, before we move on to another point relating to unmarried partners who make an application, is that just a real tip, that it is important that a valid passport is submitted by the applicant. It is important that a valid passport or an ID, national ID document, is submitted by the European partner. Important because these are minimum requirements before the Home Office will grant a right of appeal. Let's say you're in that unfortunate situation where your application has been refused, and your application isn't based on marriage, but it's based on your relationship, the fact that you've been together for 2 years, 3 years, etc. And the Home Office, you've done everything right, but the Home Office has refused the application. In that situation, at the moment, under the European regulations, the Home Office won't grant you a right of appeal. So you won't have that opportunity to go before a judge and try and convince a judge that this is all genuine and you should be granted a visa. You will unfortunately be left without a right of appeal, but there is still hope. There are 2 options in that situation, and which I just want to highlight before we finish for the day. Your 2 options are, first of all, you can reapply again with more evidence. The Home Office might have said, look, the reason we're refusing the application is because of X, Y, and Z is missing. You can always reapply with additional evidence. And in my experience, that may well be the best option to take, which is to reapply, give the Home Office what they're asking for. If they're saying that something is lacking, provide that. Or if you don't want to reapply, there is obviously the possibility of judicial review. For that, you should really speak to a lawyer who specializes in these matters before taking that course of action. Unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of the show. Inshallah, we should be back next week on Monday at 6 o'clock. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.